You're listening to It's Past My Bedtime, Dude, but it's not really past my bedtime because I think it's like 4 p.m. Yeah. We're here at Palomosa Festival backstage, but we are with someone who has been keeping me up past my bedtime for like 10 years, which is quite disrespectful.
Wow, sorry.
Back in that day, I had a music blog that I wanted to interview you on, and I messaged you on Bandcamp, and I really thought I'd get a response.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Sometimes those emails go straight automatically to like a Bandcamp folder in my email because it's like I get all these things like so-and-so bought like your song for 99 cents. And I don't need to see those emails. So it might have just gone straight to that, sadly. I'm so sorry
totally
about that.
Okay. I mean, I also thought I had a good music blog, but I had like no readers. So like, it's whatever. But I'm here to seek revenge.
Yeah, you're here. Okay. Well, yeah.
On you.
Yeah, well.
We're here with Grammy nominated, I think a sunglasses/glasses connoisseur of sorts.
I do wear glasses on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I need them to see and live.
It's kind of a survival mechanism.
Yeah, exactly.
And also someone who taught me a lot about the craft of electronic music and just how it's far more than what we see on big stages when you're first getting into the electronic music scene and really understanding the design of sound. It's CFCF.
Yeah.
This is a live show, and despite our least efforts, anything can happen. This program contains material. Listener discretion is advised.
It's past my bedtime, dude.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, nice to be here, yeah.
You're going on stage in like an hour here at Palomosa?
An hour here at Palomosa in my hometown of Montreal.
Yeah,
Quebec.
You're kicking off the festival summer season.
It's a very nice feeling, yeah.
What can we expect? What am I in for?
It's going to be an hour-long set of just fun, I don't know, like fun music. I've been playing a lot of I've been focusing especially on kind of like almost, for lack of a better term, or let's just say glittery house music from kind of like the mid to late 2000s. And so that's kind of like the focal point. But then there are many kind of like, offshoots and things I like to sneak in there that have nothing to do with that as well.
Okay, so. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah. Classic.
Yeah.
But like an hour set sometimes feels, at least from my experience, I feel like sometimes it can be complicated.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the time to really get into everything you want to get into.
It's true.
So do you have a strategy going into it?
I kind of think of it as like a little capsule. It's like a little mix. It's almost like doing a little mixtape or something like that. So rather than trying to get into like a long sustained groove and vibe where you're kind of like one-on-one with the audience, there is an element of just kind of like curate it for yourself, for your own pleasure, play songs that you're excited to hear, and then kind of like expect that, in the last 15 minutes you will find the groove, and then your set is over.
That's exactly what's so complicated about all of it. It's like, you're just getting into it. The audience is like catching the vibe.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's okay.
But I kind of like it. Like I like the simplicity of it. I like that it's like like I said, it's almost like a more of a capsule set where you're just kind of getting like the kind of like a nice little pocket, a nice little juicy morsel of DJing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like it's like quick experimentation of like things you're thinking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you've been playing Montreal. You know Montreal obviously very well. I know you're technically a transplant, but you've been here for so long. You've been part of the scene for so long.
Well, I'm not a transplant.
At all.
I was born here.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were from Vancouver. That's very interesting.
I was born in Montreal. I was born in Côte-des-Neiges, and I was raised off island in the North Shore, a town called Rosemère, and also a little bit in NDG when I was younger too. Yeah.
Okay, so true local.
True local.
So it feels. Does it feel more like home playing here than other cities, Canadian cities?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I know the crowd fairly well in terms of like what they're comfortable with, or like rather what. Like, I think the crowds here are much more open-minded and adventurous in the sense of, like, I've been playing a lot of shows in the States, and I play for various crowds, like younger, older, or whatever, but I think people have a set expectation of, like, what they're going to hear. Whereas here, I think everyone has been going to, like, outdoor raves, or they're going, or seeing kind of, like, these more left-field DJs play, local DJs. So people have a more open, like, I don't feel like I have to... pander, for lack of a better word, or like play in one certain style, like 160 BPM just to get the crowd going. I think like, age doesn't define people's tastes here, and people are pretty open-minded to almost any style.
I think that's true. I mean, even here at the festival, I feel like
big, broad
it's
lineup,
kind of a lineup you don't really see in other places.
It's a really unique lineup and very cool. Like, I think it's almost like an experiment in booking a festival to see like all these awesome, like, it's so curated, like so uniquely curated, where you have these cool acts like Ear and Sophie Estelle and like Canel from France, who I love, and then you have like Poison Girlfriend and MGMT. So they're like tapping into like a really zeitgeisty idea of like what goes together, generationally. And especially because I think I've noticed that I think when I play DJ sets, I'm often playing Gen X music, and I'm often playing for Gen Zs, and it's because I think they just connect. There's like they skipped a generation a little bit. It's like they love the Gen X stuff, so it's a nice kind of like I don't know, millennial, Gen X, Gen Z little like powwow, little love-in, yeah. But it's not over the top, not too like indie sleaze or not too electroclash or not too any one thing. You have rap and you have everything, so it's nice.
Totally, and I mean we do benefit here from having two scenes kind of happening in parallel. I don't know if it's really happening as much anymore. You may know more, but we have Franco-Anglo scenes happening.
I'm a lot of touch because I haven't been here for like 4 years. So when I come back, I'm like, there's all these new things happening that I didn't even really know about. But yeah, I did see that there's some sick new Quebecois rappers on the scene.
Yeah.
And some cool stuff.
There's a lot happening in the city for
exactly.
sure. And is it like when you were in the city 4 years ago, over 4 years ago, when you were making music, was that kind of split between things feel like it impacted you as an artist at all, or make things harder, or?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've always existed kind of outside of Montreal in terms of like the music I make. Like it's always been online basically. So rather than being like geographically situated in Montreal, despite the name, which is a totally local reference, it's named after like the CTV affiliate here, but yeah, like I think after a while, like I started to realize that like where I was living really, in terms of making music, wasn't geographically necessarily Montreal. It wasn't necessarily making music that had to exist within the local kind of fabric and the local scene, because so many of the people that I saw were like listening to or even appreciating or whatever, like was online and elsewhere. Not because I wasn't getting it here, but just. I don't know. It's
it
hard
was
to say.
a product of the time, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It was very digital. I think that's so present right now too, because music is so much more accessible, and you have artists popping up from around the world, which wasn't a thing, I think, before even pre-streaming era. That it's really like you don't have to be connected locally necessarily. Like there's an online.
There is more of a kind of a local pride now, I think, which I'm glad to see, because I think it was more like people felt like disconnected from each other maybe in some way, and after COVID kind of thing, there's maybe more local, kind of, I don't know, cohesion or something.
I guess we had enough time in our bedrooms as well to start making the thing that we've been avoiding for so long. But I read somewhere that learning about the Montreal music scene was something you had to learn. Like it didn't come naturally for you. So what do you mean by that? Like what do you, I guess for people in Montreal now, what is it that they need to learn, or how do they learn about the scene?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I think I was always when I was younger, having grown up here, and kind of having my own kind of like version of it, and the city, like knowing my own version of it. Like when I started DJing, it was in, there was a bar called Green Room, which was on Upper Saint Laurent, like near Saint Viateur, and we had like an indie dance night basically. I was like 17 years old. I was underage DJing at this place with my brother. And that was kind of like my intro, and that was like a really cool time. It was like 2007 or 2008. It was like really a while ago, but then that kind of like faded away, and then I kind of wasn't really sure what was going on. Like, and I wasn't really friends, or didn't really know a lot of the, say, like Arbutus, Grimes, Mac DeMarco kind of people. I was more on this other side because they were all transplants from various places, Vancouver and such. And so I think at the time I was a little disconnected, didn't really know what was going on. And I knew, obviously, other local people. I knew like Jacques Green, and I knew some of these other people. But I guess I was like not participating so much in the scene until a few years later, because I went away. I moved to Paris for a brief point, and then I came back. And then I was like starting to finally meet these people a little bit and like kind of understand who they were. And it still took time. I don't think it was until 2016 that I actually started to like really participate, go to like raves and meet everyone and really start to develop these friendships and local. So I think the main thing that I learned is just like, I was being a little bit like locked away for some reason. I was being very hermit almost. I had like almost a hermit vibe, and people would be like, what's up with CFCF? Like we never see him around kind of thing. So it was really enriching to just finally like actually just like let go of some of those whether they were insecurities or fear of new people or whatever, or judgment or whatever it was, and realized that everyone was really sweet and cool, and everyone who stuck around, not to cast aspersions on a Grimes or whatever, but everyone who stuck around has been really like shaping the fabric of the city and making it better, and making things like really cool and unique, and great clubs like Le Système come out of that, and just like fertile community for artistry,
So it's really just like being present,
be present,
showing up.
Yeah, and not judgmental, just like go to places, meet new people, form connections and make music together. I don't know. Yeah.
Do you think that security that came where you felt like you could be more present in those environments, that came with time once you maybe had a little bit more clarity or some sort of identity of the kind of music you were making and what you wanted to do?
I think so. It's probably, there was probably like more uncertainty in terms of like who or what kind of artist I was, and comparing myself to other artists, and maybe some degree of like I don't know, just like unearned
a little bit of imposter or something.
Like that. Yeah, exactly. So then like just kind of like actually starting to like appreciate and listen to other people's music or whatever, and being like, and then letting go of some of the ego stuff that it's just natural when you're young to have that or whatever, and it goes away gradually. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, now when I'm back, and it's funny because I had to go away also to like now even more, I feel like very like appreciative of the place that raised me, kind of thing. So it's a good feeling.
You spread your wings and flew.
Yeah.
So Mile End Kicks, accurate or not?
Painfully accurate.
Really?
I would say, yeah. I mean, like I said, I would say I kind of wasn't there. That was kind of what was funny about it is a lot of those parties, there is stuff in the movie set at the Torn Curtain, and I did play there once or twice. And actually, funnily enough, there's like Rolly Pemberton, like Cadence Weapon, wrote a piece about the Torn Curtain for the Red Bull Music Academy probably 10 years ago. And the photo that's right at the top of the article is like the back of my head is just like dead center.
Oh, wow.
It's really funny, yeah.
Okay.
You can see me there. I'm wearing
literally
a plaid shirt, yeah. But yeah, I mean, otherwise the movie is pretty painfully accurate in terms of like the kind of people that you might meet at that time, and the sort of dynamics between different types of Canadians, and like like in the movie there's like a character who's from the Maritimes, and then there's another character who's from Vancouver, and the main character is from Toronto, and there's all these Quebecois characters as well, and they all have like very unique personalities that are kind of accurate to like to their various, and also their ambitions and such like that. Like there's a lead singer in a band who's like kind of not a great guy kind of thing, and I've met those guys.
They
in Montreal.
exist,
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was pretty accurate, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like waiting to get your sign off on it before I watched it.
I did a little bit
of
music in it. Yeah.
Okay.
I did contribute a little. So maybe this is like what do you call like a journalistic? Like I have to conflict of interest. Yeah, because my name is in the credits of the film.
You have to like.
Yeah, basically, I just helped on like one little cue for Cecile Believe, who scored the film. Yeah, and then they just wanted me to make a couple of little also additional kind of background music things for some club scenes kind of thing. So. Yeah, so
there was a little bit like
yeah.
They really reached out to artists who were kind of around.
I think that was really the idea too. It was like Cecile was a great choice to score it because she was there, has all the like the main character is wearing her merch at one point in the movie, and she was there when she was doing music as Mozart's sister. But then, just like has a deep connection with all the people and all the like the spaces and so. And her score is brilliant. It's great. So yeah, she was the right person to score it. Yeah.
Yes, I mean totally. Now I have to watch it. Now we got to see it.
It's a funny movie. I'll also say it's like
the trailer looked good. Yeah. I'm into it. I have so many questions for you about Montreal and your time here and everything. And like I feel like I need to do a part 2, but I really also want to talk about your music. We're here, Palomosa. The sun finally came out. I think it's here and
It'll
there. It's somewhere.
Yeah.
But
the clouds are moving.
Yeah. But it's summer, basically. So it's really fitting that you're here in the lead up to the release of, your new album, I think June 12th that's coming out.
Yes.
Life
I think
in
it's coming
Ultraviolet.
out on June 12th. Yeah. It's L.U.V. I would
L.U.V.,
really call
okay.
it. But Life in Ultraviolet is kind of the subtitle, I would say, almost, almost an afterthought, really.
Okay,
but
so
not quite.
So
yeah.
it's L.U.V. Okay.
L.U.V. Yeah.
So in a press release, you described it as music for an adult lifestyle, I think. So, dude, tell me what the fuck that means.
Well, I think when I make music, I always have, it just makes me giggle a little bit to like kind of think about the kind of person who would want to listen to this music. Like when I made my record, Liquid Colors, I was like, this is an album for buying like a cool fashion bucket hat at a very futuristic mall, So this one was kind of, it just was born out of just, most of my music comes from my listening habits. Mm-hmm. And so if I start like kind of gravitating towards certain styles of music and certain songs and attitudes or just like vibes or whatever, then that starts to shape into like kind of like a little world I want to kind of craft or whatever, or like a type of lifestyle that might suit this kind of thing. So for this new record, I guess what I was listening to was a lot of the early, it's become a word that has kind of lost some of its original meaning, but a lot of the early electroclash, just stuff like Peaches, Fisher Spooner, Chicks on Speed, Miss Kitten and the Hacker, and Golden Boy, and a lot of these other artists, and DJ Hell, Felix the House Cat. So, and then also stuff like Montreal Ortega and his Turbo Recordings label, which was kind of almost a more like, it was definitely more like club techno oriented and had big sounds, poppy graphics, and a lot of the time a sort of little sense of humor also. So I was just kind of inspired by that music and just kind of was like wanted to kind of play in that playground. I always loved it from a young age, and that's part of it too. Is like I often kind of go back to kind of music I was listening to at other points of my life or whatever, and that becomes like a fertile kind of jumping off point for the new music. Like that's what happened with Memoryland, and so this was almost like me just kind of like organically, and not even really on purpose, but like kind of graduating from kind of the stuff that influenced Memoryland to like a couple years later, to like the stuff I happened to be listening to at that time, which was these cool electronic stuff, and also like pop, really glossy pop music from the 2000s, like Kylie Minogue and Madonna, and also there's a Norwegian artist named Annie. So yeah, I just had always loved that kind of music and always wanted to. It was like an ambition in the back of my head that I always wanted to try to make something that had this kind of like poppy, glittery kind of like sheen to it, and that it also plays across several decades. Like I think I'm kind of like making a record that has references to like the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s.
Very electroclash.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a lot of points there you brought up, but one thing I have to ask you is, okay, subtitle is Life in Ultraviolet. Mm-hmm. It's L.U.V. Mm-hmm. Okay, we have Colors of Life. We have Life is Perfecto.
Yeah, lots of colors.
Signs of Life. You are obsessed with life. What is your obsession with life, man?
It's all we have. It's literally the only thing that we have. I mean, life is very important. We have to live it. We have to figure out how to live it. And
unfortunately.
Fortunately and unfortunately. I mean, there's also a song on the album called Let's Kill Ourselves. So,
well, which brings me to my next point, because it seems very fitting, I guess, that your lead single off this album is Let's Kill Ourselves, which is a reimagination of the Pony song.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Let's Kill Ourselves. So with that, like, why was that what you wanted to lead with? The first single you wanted to lead with?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, well, we did put out another single before that, Ultra Obscene. But yeah, when we did the announce for the record, it was that one. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a song that I saw them live in probably 2005, opening for Block Party.
Very cool.
La Tulipe, which I think closed. It was on Papineau. But so they were sick, and I always loved that song, and they're a great band. And then I guess in conjunction with this other stuff I was listening to, it was also kind of like, well, a sort of like garage rock sound like has a place in this too, like a kind of like crunchy rock attitude kind of thing or whatever is kind of a cool thing to bring into the electronic space also. And I guess with the like new Charlie XCX song, I might not have been totally wrong on that. But like, but the attitude of the song specifically, there's something, it's a hard thing to try to explain to people because I think people get scared by the title. But to me, what we were trying to get across was more of like kind of a comfort, like that saying words like that, saying I'm going to kill myself is like something you do to comfort yourself, because like what it really does is kind of like, it doesn't gesture earnestly towards suicide. It's really more of like a way to like reaffirm life, actually. Yeah. And it's the kind of thing you say when shit is going wrong constantly, you know, like you get a
You hear
bad
it in the
haircut
song,
and you go
like,
you're like,
vocals, yeah.
exactly. So we needed that. Originally didn't have those talking heads kind of thing, tech girls talking on it. But I was like, we need to lighten this up, get the point across like in big bold letters, because otherwise people are going to think it's like a real depression song, or something, you know.
Yeah, it's life in ultraviolet, like L.U.V, but like,
Yeah.
no, totally. And like on Bandcamp, I think in the footnotes you have a quote from Nietzsche on down there.
I think I read that in something else. I read that in like a Raymond Carver book or something like that. I can't remember, but yeah. Sorry, you can read it if you'd like.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, okay, this is a quote: "The thought of suicide is a great consolation. By means of it, one gets through many a dark night." So,
Yeah.
I guess the
There you
song
go.
is about free will and,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It's like a peaceful reclamation of power, because in those really dark moments, you feel like you don't have control over your own life, like sanity in that.
Yeah. By not turning that kind of thought into something that is like utterly abject and that you have to get away from you. You know, you can turn it into something that sits with you all the time and comforts you, right?
Not like a negative
the
spiral,
fact
but
that-
like,
yeah. Well, the fact that we all know that we can do these, we're getting really serious now. We all know that we can do these dark things or whatever, but the fact we every day choose not to do them is like a very positive thing.
yeah, choose life.
Yes,
Very
exactly.
train spotting. Choose life.
Exactly. Yeah,
choose life every day.
Always choose life. Always choose
Always.
life. Never kill yourself, as they say. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna have to put like a helpline number on the. We're gonna have to put that in the description. But yeah, no, choose life. I think it was when I read that quote. Definitely big smile. I was like, it's
Yeah.
You really brought it all together
Yeah,
on that. I
I'm glad
thought that
to
was
hear
really,
that.
really
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
There were other tracks you also released. You already mentioned one of them. So there's 3 tracks we've gotten so far from this album. We've gotten Bad Song, which you just dropped the music video
on
for.
Wednesday, yeah.
And then we got Ultra Obscene.
Yeah.
There's a lot of features. I mean, there's 3 tracks, but we've gotten features on all of them so far. On your own releases, I don't think features really became like the thing until Memoryland, pretty much.
Yeah. I don't think
So-
I really ever had like a real feature.
So what was that spark? What was that transition?
Well, with Memoryland, it was like I had these 2 songs. A lot of the time, what ends up happening is I just naturally write songs, and then there's kind of like the songs have their own life of where they're gonna go, what they want to be. It's the way I work or whatever, and I'll always know if it needs a vocal or doesn't need a vocal, and I'll always know what kind of vocal it needs. You know, like whether it's a male vocal or a female vocal or anything in between or whatever. And so I'll know whether I'm capable of doing that or not. Like, because sometimes it's me doing the singing. Songs like Punk Song or others like where I know I can kind of, this is more of like going to be like me delivering the song and it's coming from me. But then the other songs I'll be like, no, this needs another voice. This needs a No Joy or like Sarah Benito or on the new record, EQ or so. And it can be a very stressful thing to have features because a lot of the time you're doing it remotely and you don't always have, you have to kind of manage. You're waiting for a Dropbox link basically, you know, for like a week or something, or hoping and praying that it all works out, kind of thing. So, but it can be very enriching to have other people's and I've been kind of been enjoying more collaboration in my music as well too. So it's just been a nice thing to kind of open it up and allow a little less control over it and a little bit more like trust in other people's taste and their ideas and stuff.
It's very mature.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely an evolution.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, there are more features on the record. This has the most features of any record I've ever done. Yeah.
Memoryland, I know when that came out for me, that was like, there was a moment where I went, this has to be your Magnus opus. Like, this is, this is it. Like, this is the one. And so far, the releases on this have been incredible. So I'm really looking
you.
forward to the full album.
Yeah, it's a different kind of record. And, so that comes with its own set of nervousness or whatever as it's coming out or whatever. But I'm trying to just be like, you know what, at this point in my life, the only thing I can really do is make the music that I feel compelled to make. And then, and people can like it or not like it or whatever.
Did you feel like pressure to make a Memoryland Part 2? Or
I think a little bit. I think a lot of people want you to do the thing that they just did, that they liked that you just did.
But you can also get knocked for that.
I know, exactly.
It's like,
but it felt like, I mean, the timing on Memoryland was kind of perfect because I started making that record in 2015 and it came out in 2021. And I spent a lot of that time like really anxious or stressed out that I was like that was going to be too late. I was going to miss the boat on this kind of like sound, this kind of like, expansive Y2K thing that also wasn't like too on the nose, you know. But then it turned out to be like I was right on time because the Y2K thing kind of blew up, but it also became almost like a cliche very quickly. And what my record tried to do, at least, was to kind of like portray that period in a way that that wasn't overly cliche, or like that had some breadth and some depth and some like almost like, you know, like kind of almost like a movie, like where you set kind of, there's just like some detail and some more grit and some grainy detail kind of thing, you know. So yeah, so but I will say that like, yeah, I put so much work into that record, and it's probably the most proud I am of a record that I've ever made. And I was not ready to do that again, like for the next record, because it was like a huge undertaking, and I wanted to flip it completely on the other side and just do something that was like fun, had like, to me, that's what's really exciting too, is like when an artist that I love makes something really big and ambitious, and then on the next record goes like full pop, for example, right, or does a whole other vibe or whatever, you know, like a whole rock record or this or that. So that to me is what's exciting for artists to do. I want to see the different facets. I want the new thing to be like genuinely new and shiny, not just like a little cast off of the last thing that.
It must feel reaffirming though, as an artist too, where you almost feel like it's like I do have control over the art I'm putting out, right? It's like I'm not just putting out what others want, because that feels like that should be the thing I'm supposed to do.
And my heart's not going to be in it if I try to make Memoryland 2 and I'm just like retreading the same ground or whatever. It's all there in the record. Like, there's not much more I could do. I would just be doing more iterations of those genres or whatever. And I'd rather try to like expand them, or like have some of those sounds absorb into other styles, or like because there's still on the new record stuff that is very similar to some of the stuff on Memoryland. It's just that I'm not like approaching it with the same kind of like, like overarching narrative, world building idea. It's more like, okay, let's see if we can, you know, have those sounds absorbed into a more succinct pop vibe, you know, kind of thing. A more bubblegum, like
shiny, glistening. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, some people might think it's quite a departure from Memoryland, which in a way it is, and I think that's what you want. But in other ways, it's like there are pieces from the same universe.
Yes, exactly.
Which is, I think, you as the artist. I mean,
that's it. That's the main thing.
You're the core.
It's a reflection of my listening history, basically, and so. You know, the fact that I've made all this different types of music over the course of my career sometimes causes me a little bit of like do people understand? Is there an identity here? You know, is there any cohesion to this whole discography, this project that I've been doing or whatever? But then that's why, you know, when people ask me like, what's the difference between CFCF and, you know, Mike or whatever? And there isn't one. Like it's, I don't really see it that way as like, it's this separate thing. It really is like a reflection of me and my like taste and, you know, the things I like. And that's why it's so varied and so broad, because I try to just imbue it with, I try to just be like really unguarded in terms of like what I want to make, and don't like get scared if I wanted to make like an acoustic record, or if I wanted to make a rock record or a jungle record or whatever, I guess, I mean, I always, my template was always, from an early point, I think I decided my template was going to be someone like Ryuichi Sakamoto, who like was this, you know, part of like a kind of disco pop band, then was like a composer, and then was producing all these pop stars and doing dance music and doing commercial music and all this stuff. And it's such a huge, varied discography that covers every possible, you know, style and sound, ambient, classical, everything, while also kind of maintaining like a central, like, you know, centrality to it, his figure, his aura, his like style, his thing. And you would never like go like, why are you doing this, Ryuichi? Like,
right. It just like what? Yeah. It makes sense.
It just all makes sense, and it all kind of sounds like him. So that was always like kind of, if I was going to try to model someone, it would be to have a long and varied, you know, and prolific, you know, recording career like that.
Yeah, I know you're a big Yellow Magic Orchestra fan. Same here.
Very much so, and Kraftwerk also.
Of course,
he's a big influence on the new record too.
Okay, so YMO and Kraftwerk, or YMO's, I guess, kind of like a lifetime sort of influence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Last year, I spent a lot of time in Japan, and the two people I had on repeat were YMO and you.
Nice. Oh, wow.
In a
That's
playlist
awesome.
together.
That's so cool.
It was just like the perfect shine that
honored.
I needed.
I'm honored.
Yeah, it was really incredible. So it's really cool to hear you talk about that too. It's again like another full circle moment. But you were talking about something. I mean, there were two pieces, and I'll get to them separately. One is you were talking about your fear last time of reproducing a cliche, missing kind of the Y2K expansion that was happening. You were there on time. With Electroclash, I guess now people kind of understand it as indie sleaze, and that's like this aestheticized version of things. And many years ago, that sort of became like Apple ads and like American Apparel and Gap, and like that's how people started understanding it through that filter of like capitalism.
Yes, yeah. Things have been happening very fast. Also, like trends are happening at a much even faster rate than they were 10 years ago.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then we had, I think Charlie came in with Brat, and we kind of had a bit of this Electroclash, or like, I guess, indie sleaze at that point. I got renamed. Yeah. And then that got consumerized to hell.
Pretty quickly.
And I think for artists that can be really difficult who are making music in that genre and want to make music in that genre to feel like they're producing something original. And I think you do it really, really well because you have your take. But how do you make music like that without falling into some of the, I guess, traps or feeling like you're maybe being defined by some of these commercial tropes?
Well, I don't really listen to any of this stuff, to be entirely honest. Like, it's not because I think it's bad. I listen to it. Like, I'm a fan of a bunch of stuff. Like, I like the Help record, and I like this other stuff. Like, I'm blanking right now completely. But yeah, there's plenty of it that I like or whatever. But I don't really like listen to it in the sense of like absorbing it into my palette, or like I'm not trying to reproduce other contemporary stuff. And it's a bit of a sickness that I'm like obsessed with music from like 25 years ago and plus or whatever, but it's just always going to be where I get my inspiration from, and because I'm always just wanting to kind of imbue things with a sort of sense of not authenticity necessarily, because it's not really something I care about, but more just like context, like historical context or whatever, and like this is what in my mind the word Electroclash or such and such sounds like. This is like, to me, I'm trying to get to the core of this idea, rather than just taking the buzzword and running with it or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it just comes from it's like digging for DJ sets kind of thing. It's like trying to find the songs that kind of are cool and unique, and try to find the sounds that I'm not hearing out there. Like I'm listening, but I don't like when I say I don't listen, it's not entirely accurate. I guess what I mean is like I don't go to it for inspiration necessarily. So yeah, I'll be like, I'm just not hearing these specific sounds, these things that for me embody those genres. I'm hearing these kind of like new, kind of facsimiles or whatever. So I'm just kind of looking to bring back some of the originality of the, or I don't know, just pay homage in a way. I know plenty of people who make great music who do it through the filter of current popular music, and there's nothing wrong with that. What I get worried about is that my like melodies and ticks and like my go-to kind of little melodic, stylings are going to start to get influenced by new music or whatever, which is one of the main things that I don't want to happen. Is for, if I'm going to write a song, that I'm stealing someone's flow from some recent, rap song or some this or that. I don't want to be, and because it doesn't feel authentic to me. I'm like 38 years old, and it'd be weird if I started to make like almost Gen Z sounding adjacent music. And it's not because I don't think that music is good. It just, it wouldn't be true to my own voice and who I am. So it's like I want to be able to stand apart in some way, and one way I can do that is to kind of maintain a certain creative distance from some other stuff. I don't know how to. Does that make any sense?
No, that totally completely makes sense. I think it gives it, I guess, in a sense of timelessness, which we hear in your music,
I think that's
right?
exactly what I'm kind of going for. Yeah,
right.
It's a sort of like outside of time, outside of right now.
You don't want to be like, this sounds
kind of thing,
very. I hear electronic music sometimes. I'm like, oh, that sounds so 2014. Like I can hear it, but. Music like you, there are other artists too, where it's like you hear it and you can't really place it. It's good music.
And then just pulling from other stuff across time, other like genres or like, other decade 70s stuff some little thing might find its way into the song, or some 90s thing, or one of my own things or something like that, so yeah.
So if Memoryland was electronica with a capital E, what is L.U.V?
L.U.V is Europop. It's
It's shiny Europop.
Shiny Europop. Yeah.
Are we getting? We're getting a Euro summer?
I hope it's a Euro summer.
Okay.
I haven't been back to Europe in a while, so I'm hoping this might be the year. Yeah.
Okay.
It's also Canadian, highly Canadian. Yeah.
Canadian contextualized. Yeah.
CanCon Euro.
CanCon. Woo, CanCon.
As Canada prepares to join the EU.
Right. Sorry. I'm getting told we need to wrap up, but I have one more question for you, which is, who wears sunnies better, you or the Dare?
The Dare.
Okay.
Yeah. Mine are prescription. Okay. So if I'm wearing them, it's because I need them.
Yeah, but nobody knows their prescription. They still look cool. Like, you're the dude with the cool orange sunglasses.
Well, I just don't want to be accused of ripping Harrison off, because he's got his own vibe. And really, if I'm wearing the sunglasses, it's almost as a way of just maybe just trying to be a little, like, play the part a little more, just for this one record or whatever. But, he owns the sunglasses.
He owns the sunglasses.
But also, he's not the first guy to put on a pair of sunglasses.
We'll give it to you. You're Canadian.
I'm wearing different ones, Mine are green.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you.
Yeah, of course. Very nice chatting.
All the best for the show. We'll see you out there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.